Hi there everybody, it's really good to see you along here for another video, and today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. I thought I'd show you one of the products that I've picked up to use up in the loft, and this is one of the Gaugemaster ones. It's actually a starter kit and it looks really interesting, so I picked one up when I was at Alexandra Palace and I've taken a look inside to see what you get. So come take a look with me. Everyone, welcome along to another video here with me, Jenny Kirk, and today I want to have a look at this product. It's something that I picked up at Alexandra Palace and it really drew my eye. I've been really wanting to experiment with some of the newer scenic products that are on the market from various manufacturers, and for me this the Gaugemaster, let's have a look there, Scenic Starter Kit GM194 is the catalogue number. It caught my eye on their stand, and it seems to be that it gives a good rounding in all manner of scenic detailing, and gives a little bit of a test, as it were, of a number of their products. So I'm quite excited to give this a go, and you can see there in the packaging we've got some tools there, scenic puffer bottle, some kind of glue, there's I think it's a grass mat at the bottom. We've got lichen, and we've got a number of trees as well, and some scatters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over and see what it says on the back. Here we go. So we've got a whole host of different bits and pieces going on here. We've got natural stones, lichen, 6 fir tree, 4 deciduous trees, scatter material, rock compound, appears to be some kind of plaster, and then we've also got static grass. I'm very interested to give that a whirl. Actually, it's something that I really want to try. And then the grass mat is something that I've kind of jumped the gun in a way. I've already started using that. I bought that separately as well, and quite pleased with the results so far. And then we've got a little bit of information there on the back and some pictures of effects that have been achieved with Gaugemaster products. So that looks really good, doesn't it? So let's see if we can, have that kind of an effect come out from this. So I'm going to, because I can't open this one-handed, I'm going to just stop filming a moment, and then I'm going to open up the box, and then we get a really good closer look at what we get. I've separated out the backing thing. Just got to be careful, some of these staples are a little bit severe. But we get one of these grass mats. Now, I've used the slightly longer pile grass mats already. This is a much shorter pile that's more consistent with something like a park maybe. So it's quite an interesting effect there. It's a bit like ready-made static grass, and we've got this is on a paper backing, which is a little bit different from the other product that I've been using. I need to have a look at the instructions and see, do we peel this off to use it, or is this the actual backing that we stick it down with? Now, the actual size, you can see there with my hand as a comparison, you don't get a huge piece of this at all. And the crease that you end up across the middle there, just by necessity of it having been folded into the box, can be a little bit noticeable. Just trying to brush that. That's a shame, but I'm not really sure, other than rolling it up into a tight tube, how else they could do that. Now, I'm going to make use of this on some cutting sides, although saying that, it's awfully neat, but it does provide a good basis upon which to add your own static grass effects. Unless you were laying a cricket green or something like that, or a park that would have this kind of monoculture of grass, it's instead best used, I reckon, as a starting point to add static grass material to this to build it up. So, you know, use it as your initial ground cover. What else do we have here? This is I'm guessing this is the rock compound. It looks to be dyed plaster of Paris. I say dyed, it's rather than being white, we've got a kind of a grey look to that. So I'm interested to see what I can do with this. I think that's, you know, it's going to be quite useful. Again, there's not a huge amount in here, but it's the whole purpose of this starter kit is to kind of give you an overview of some of their products, I guess. So interested to see what we can do with that. We've also got in here just some sort of like rocks, and I just go back to the back of the box. What does it say? Natural stones can be used for creek or riverbeds, debris from a cliff to decorate the side of railway embankments. You can use the grass glue to secure the stones onto the working surface. So actually what I might use these for is the creek bed. Well, I keep saying creek bed is because that's what it said. But I've got like a culvert, and actually this might be quite useful along the bottom. I'm a little way away from actually being able to lay these, but certainly a useful graded set of rocks, and I can see these being quite useful. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of potential there. Then we've got these look to be, this is the static grass fibres. These are probably about 2 millimeters long, and they look to be a reasonable match to the colour of the grass mat itself. Then we've also got what appears to be, yeah, this is just scatter. Let's just see what it says on the back about the scatter. Scatter material is ideal for ground cover for areas that are not entirely covered by grass. Yeah, okay, it's certainly materials that I've used in the past. There's certainly other manufacturers that have had quite a big range of this type of scatter. So certainly really useful material. We've then got an assortment of lichens, described to me by a friend of mine. He says, oh, it's reindeer food. But certainly, I don't think you'd want to feed your reindeer this. It's been dyed. So we've got an assortment of different colours, and these can be worked into bushes, things like that. And actually, I find it quite useful to use these in conjunction with the scatter. So you kind of use the scatter to create a foliage effect and have these as almost like the armature of the bushes. So they are quite useful. And actually, that dark colour there, I can see that being quite useful for sort of dead material in ditches. And certainly, whilst these colours might look garish in the packet, some of these weird colours are actually very useful about the layout. Now we turn to the trees, and as promised, we've got 6 fir trees and 4 of these sort of deciduous trees. Now they're not as fancy as some of the fancy trees that are on the market, but these certainly are a big step up from the old loo brush trees, which if you're of an age that I am, you probably remember those. You can still get them actually. The loo brush type trees are they're okay for they're cheap, they're cheerful, but these give you just a little bit extra there. We've got some pretty nice plastic trunks. Might be helped by a bit of toning down with some sort of matte paint just to take that shine off there. But they've got a pretty reasonable amount of foliage there, and it's pretty good, I suppose. Between all of these different materials, you could make a nice little diorama on this base that you could use to show off a model. Say, for example, if you had a model, military models, car models, or even an aeroplane model in a corner of an airfield, that kind of thing. So you've pretty much got all that you need for a small diorama, and you could, you don't have to lay this out flat on the ground. I mean, that looks a bit like a cricket pitch, but the whole beauty of this grass mat type thing is that you can cut it into pieces. You can mould it around the terrain. So you can see there, just over the corner of the box, you can make it hug the contours, and you can create pretty good textured terrain out of stuff like that. So that is actually a very versatile product. They do sell it in a variety of colours, a variety of pile length, and in a way it's a shame. It would have been nice to get the longer pile with this in this kit, but that said, it's still a good product, and certainly for certain uses you'll want different lengths of the pile. As a comparison to the different piles of these mats, I've already used some of the longer pile mats, and you can see there it's got a really nice furry feel to it, and it looks like slightly longer, a little bit more unkempt grass. You can see how it hugs into the terrain underneath. It's been applied with some PVA glue, and it's held onto that terrain really nicely. Now, I'm lining this new sheet up, and actually the first thing you can see is it's actually not the same shade. As I said before, they do come in a variety of different shades, but you can see here that over the top of this plaster embankment, you can make it hug that shape pretty well. So more than pleased with that. You can also buy them in 8x4 sheets, so if you've got a lot of area to cover, rather than buying these smaller kits, you can go all out and buy a big mat of the stuff. Now I'm going to turn once more back to the box, and I'm having a look here. This interested me. In some respects, seeing this in there actually did intrigue me enough to buy this product, so I'm really interested to see. Let's have a look. There's not really much in the way of instructions, but let's just see what's actually in here. And it seems to be two different types of plastic. So you've got the plastic of the bottle. I'm not really sure how it works. I feel it's blowing air at me, but I have a feeling it's a bit like, if you remember from if you did physics at school, and there were experiments that were done with types of plastic rods like perspex rods, acrylic rods, that you'd rub them and they would create a static charge. So I'm guessing that that grey colour plastic that's on there is something to do with creating a static charge in the scatter material, the static grass material, as it comes through, which then causes it to sort of stand up on end in the glue. That's really the way that I'm thinking this is probably going to work. I'm just trying to focus there. So there's some very rudimentary instructions, and there's a little thing that is at maximum load. So I'm guessing that there is actually a catalogue number there, GM193. So this is a product that is also available separately. I'm very interested to actually put this to the test. Manufactured for Gaugemaster by Nock, as is all of these materials. Yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to giving that a whirl. Let's see, what's the final thing that we've got in here? This is the grass glue, or Grasskleber. Obviously, Nock being a German manufacturer. The instructions on this are entirely in German. So, erste ärztliche Rat erforderlich Verpackung oder. Right. Don't give to children, obviously. Not in the. Don't put in your eyes. Auf die Haut. My German's very rusty. Die Kleidung gelangen lassen. And then. Oh, that's what's in it. Gemisch contains 5-chloro 2-methyl. I said it's old. Gosh, it is interesting. It gives you the full names of the chemicals that are in it, but I'm not going to open it up. But I guess it probably smells quite nasty. But this glue, I suspect, is something to do with the static grass process. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to suggest possibly that the reason this glue is included is because somehow it sets up the static charge along with this. But very interesting to see all these products together. Some of these I have already started making a use on the layout, and they do appear to be good products. The only one that I've not really put to the test yet is the Scenic Puffer Bottle, but I am looking forward to this. I suspect it won't be as efficient as the actual plug-in static grass applicators that you can buy, but it's an awful lot cheaper, and certainly as a starter, it's certainly something which I'm looking forward to giving a good go over to. So overall, value for money. It's a reasonable value for money to give you an overview in a variety of scenic products, and certainly as a kind of a trial before you invest big, this is certainly a very good starter pack from Gaugemaster. So I'll give this a good 9 out of 10. There are a few little niggles, maybe. That crease across there is annoying me. But overall, it's a pretty good package. Well, I hope that was informative to you. Don't forget to like this video and share it too. And also subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so, and you'll be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. But until next time, don't forget to check out my books over on Amazon, and take really good care of yourself as well. And it'd be good to see you back here next time. But thanks again for watching. Bye for now. Today's video has been brought to you in part thanks to the generous donation of my fans on Patreon, and a huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Mark Anthony, Michael Churchwood, Bob Threeton, Alec Ralph, Anthony Hunt, William Wade, Wayne Johns, and Offshore Alan. If you'd like to help support the show, head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk. Thank you. Today's video has been brought to you by my books, Bringing Home the Stars, Twinkle Little Star, and also you can get the complete comic collections of All Over the House, Books 1, Books 2, and also the wacky zany Life of Knob T Mouse. Thanks, and catch you later.